Fellow auto detailers, welcome to the show that features interviews with today's most successful auto detailers. This is the Auto Detailing Podcast. Here's your host, Jimbo Balaam.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Auto Detailing Podcast. I'm obviously Jimbo, your host, and this episode is brought to you by autofiber.com, autofiber.ca, and autofiber.com.au. And you want to check out the Tal of the Month Club. Tal of the Month Club at autofiber.com. You, of course, can use code Jimbo, and you will get your discount. Autofiber.com, autofiber.ca, autofiber.com.au. Check it out. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 385 of the Auto Detailing Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking to Janis Lasmanis. Oh, did I get it or did I butcher it?
You butchered it.
Butchered it. Oh, well.
Janis Lasmanis.
As expected, I butchered it, but Janis, welcome to the Auto Detailing Podcast.
Hey, Jimbo. Hey, everybody. Hey, Jimbo, I just want to say thanks, for having me on the podcast. I've been a big fan of yours.
I appreciate it.
For a while now.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, and I apologize that I had to reschedule, but I think as detailers we understand that sometimes we get last-minute stuff, we get hung up on stuff, and all kinds of crazy stuff can happen. So I appreciate you being flexible, too, with the scheduling and getting it done.
Yeah, well, I think we're all in the same boat, and I used to get really annoyed when people used to reschedule with me, I used to literally lose my marbles and didn't want to talk to them anymore like a little girl. But
yep.
I've decided that I'm taking a different course to it, and I'm the Mr. Nice Guy. Don't worry about it. Life happens and all that, And you know what? It actually works out that people actually come back and say, like, hey, you're messing with my time. What's going on? You said you're going to be here. You're not.
Right. And for everyone listening that may be thinking about it, you have Corsair Detailing. That's your company, and you're actually based out of Washington, D.C., right? Or the D.C. area?
Yeah, I'm just a little bit outside Washington, D.C. I live in Arlington, Virginia right now, but my shop is in Sterling, Virginia.
Okay.
Which is like half an hour from White House, so.
Got it. And where's your accent from?
So my accent, I'm from Latvia.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Latvia, which is in Europe, and most people don't know where it is, and that's fine. It's on the side of Russia, it's Baltic states, on a Baltic Sea. However, I've lived for almost 10 years in England, so that's why my accent is pretty mixed up.
Gotcha. And how did you get to the U.S., or why the move to the U.S.?
So I swam here on the fridge door from Cuba. No, so funny enough, so I had nothing to do with cars as well. I've always been an enthusiast of cars, but my background, I used to work for British military security, and I was a bodyguard for almost 10 years. And on a random night out, I've met an American girl, the girl of my dreams, who I'm married to now, and she's actually from America. So
wow.
So that's how it happened.
That's incredible. So is that your background is in being a bodyguard and security? How did that kind of morph into detailing?
Yeah. So I've worked in the security industry for quite a while, and cars have always been my passion. Since I was a little kid. I remember the only time you could ask your mom to drive the car by herself at age of 13 was only at the time when you offered to get it washed. Be like, oh, I'll take it around the corner and wash it. So I still remember my days with fairy liquid and a sponge. Scraping my mom's Mazda. But yeah, so when I moved to America, for the first year, I wasn't able to legally work. And I'm one of those guys. I got to move all the time, and I just can't sit still. And within our family, we probably have 7 cars. Mom's cars, just simple cars, like a little Lexus, a truck, and my wife's ML and stuff. So because I had to move and I couldn't sit still, I started to take care of those cars. Started scrub them, started cleaning the rims, and realized that things don't work. Normal sprays don't work. So I started going to YouTube and started to look for stuff, how to get rid of all the brake dust. And people were coming up with tips and this and that. And yeah, so I kind of start to get on that YouTube train.
Mm.
And then I realized that I didn't even really know that there is detailing industry out there. Imagine.
Gotcha.
Like 4 years ago, I had no idea. I knew that there's like a little upscale car washes, but that's about it.
Whoa.
And one of the guys, what I found super interesting is a car cleaning guru. You've heard of him?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
That guy, yeah, even just the way he talks, you just want to listen to him, isn't it?
Mm. Yes.
Now, can you understand him?
It's hard for me. So I will be honest. I think his videos are great. I do have like this weird thing sometimes with people's voices. I can't explain it, and for some reason his voice, I can understand him. It's just too much work to understand him. So it's hard, and to be totally transparent and fair, I watch almost zero videos on detailing unless I'm in a pinch and need to learn something. So for like a enjoyment purpose, I really don't watch any detailing videos. But it is a little too much work for me to listen to him. But that's my own issue, not his. But proceed. Sorry,
no,
tangent.
I totally understand. I totally understand.
Not to totally deflate your bubble. Sorry.
No, not at all, not at all. You know, there's people who annoy me to bits as well, you know, online. Hey, follow me, follow this, you know, subscribe this. I'm like, oh, God.
Right.
But yeah, so anyway, so I started to research, you know, started to look into it more, and because still I wasn't able to work, so I kind of fell into it. I was like, oh well, I'll do my one of my family members' cars, you know, and it came out really good. And it came down to the point when my mother-in-law took one of her other friends in a car, and she's like, oh, did you buy a new car? She's like, no, it's actually the same car. It's just Janis cleaned it. Yeah. And then I'll probably for a short period of time I'll become that guy online. You know, what's the best steamer? You know,
for sure,
best polisher.
Yep.
Yeah, and surprisingly, I started doing it, and I started becoming quite good at it. And when I live in quite rich county, like Loudoun County is one of the richest counties in America. So people have a lot of disposable income. And I looked around for pricing. Let's say to get my car detailed, just as an example, and you know the money was really good, and I was like, hey, I want to have a piece of this.
Right.
So my first client was a lady with a 2-month-old Escalade who she bought, and then she was not happy with the detail they provided when she got it because it was dirty. So I traveled out in my C-Class Mercedes, and yeah, that's how it started. You know,
wow.
In a way, you kind of have to a little bit blag it, you know, that you know what you're doing from the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
As it probably with any job.
For sure.
You know. Yeah, and then later on, I started actually listening to your podcast, and a lot of people were asking me about ceramic coatings, you know. And again, you know, only research I did was on YouTube, and people were like very skeptic about it, this and that. And then I can't remember who, but one of the guys on your podcast mentioned Connor from Mirror Shine from Ohio.
Yep.
And they said, hey, Connor's doing this. And like one of the guys said in your podcast, Connor's doing all this amazing work. And, you know, he took a picture of this Porsche under the bridge or whatever. So I looked him up, and I hit him up on Facebook. And I was like, hey, Connor, I said, you know, I'm new to detailing. I said, I would like to learn, you know, from you how to do the coatings and stuff. I said, I live 5 hours away. I said, I'll come and see you.
Wow.
He was not that impressed, I think so, from the beginning. He was like, who is this guy, you know? So I kept pestering him. I was like, come on, mate, come on. I'm coming. And then I had something in Cleveland, and I was like, bro, I'm on my way. He's like, okay.
Like, I'm going to be there next week.
Yeah. I invited myself, you know. And by the time
sometimes you have to do that.
And by the time I went to see him, I've already coated a few of my own cars. Messed up them a little bit as well, you know.
Sure, of course.
Left it to dry, and
yep.
you know, the smudges and this. So I just went to Connor with a big list of questions, you know, compounds, this, that, how do you do it, you know. So I spent a day, actually spent 2 days with him. He was super kind to show me, you know, the ins and outs. And then the next step was, you know, to get certified with somebody. And then
And real quick, I want to jump in. Are you still doing everything mobile, or by this time have you worked your way into a shop? I know you deal with some weather on that side of the country, so are you in a shop now, or are you mobile at the time where you decide to get certified for coatings?
So when I got certified with coatings, I actually had a double garage at my house.
Got it.
And I used to live in quite a pretty neighborhood, so it got to the point I've probably done 10 or 12 coatings from home, and I started to do details from home, and it was getting to the level that the housing association probably will start to pick my brains about it.
Right.
Because I didn't own the house. Yeah, and I have Alfa Romeos turn up and loud Hondas and stuff,
Right.
So
kind of starting to make a scene at home.
I had to find a shop. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, so I had to find a shop, and funny enough, I went to look at the shop space, and it was next to detailing shop.
Oh,
and
no!
I was like, no. I'm like, this is definitely not going anywhere.
Not gonna
and
work.
The shop space, it was like for mechanics, dirty floors and people eating Chinese food in the middle of the shop and smoking and stuff. And I was like, nah. So I went next door to the detailing shop because I saw a Ferrari sticking out of it. So I went in. I said, hey, my name is Janis, Lasmanis, and I'm a detailer. And the guy in the shop, he was like, I know who you are. And I was like, oh, shit.
How did he?
I'm in trouble.
Your reputation preceded you, huh?
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm a member of this group called Real Husbands of Loudoun County. How cheesy is that, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah. I like it, though.
Yeah, but so there's about 7,000 local guys on the group. And then we share a lot of funny content, and also it's a great networking group, and we also do a lot of charity work for each other. We also do for good causes, for cancers and whatever other things, there is people want to get donated for. So Real Husbands of Loudoun County, they have been around for probably 2-3 years now.
Is it like a Facebook group, or where do you guys? Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Facebook group.
Gotcha.
So let's say, for example, the first time I met the guys, one of the members, he's a veteran, and he was actually trying to sell his house, but he had like a big tree leaning over his house. So about 30 of us people who don't know each other just get there on Sunday and just cut the tree down and just help the guy out, just like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one of my.
That's a great idea.
Probably. Yeah, and we've done a lot of really cool work for a lot of sad causes as well, unfortunately. And then, for example, one of the members passed away, actually, really suddenly 2 weeks ago. So we donated, towards the cost of his funeral and things like that. Mm-hmm. It's usual story, that maybe your $20 doesn't make difference, but if there's 20 or 50 of you, that can make
a huge
life-changing difference.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. I mean, I know I can kind of sense where it's going to go, but just from a kind of a feel good standpoint, that's a great idea for a detailer or a detailing company to kind of start one of those, right? Or something similar where you just go out and help people. And, I think naturally by doing that, though, it's probably wasn't your intent or the intent of someone starting it, but you're going to get business from that, right? Yeah,
absolutely. I'm a great, I'm big of supporting people and supporting others in need. For example, I always support, there's a jiu-jitsu, martial arts school in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. Where I used to go and roll when I had more time. And then those guys, usually 2 or 3 of them, once a year, they have a big fight. So I always from my BNI group, which is the next thing I'm going to tell you about.
Yeah.
So from my BNI group, I have guys, who own HVAC companies, plumbing companies, with 12 vans or 30 employees.
Yep.
So I always reach out to them. I'm like, guys, what I want to gather let's say $1,000 or $2,000. It's $200 each. you get your name on a T-shirt, you might not gonna get any real publicity, but there's something, that you could be proud of that you helped somebody. Because again, $200 each, that $2,000 makes a big difference.
Heck yeah.
Life,
Heck yeah. It's a big difference.
Yeah, and for guys who's turning over, $100,000 a month, $200 is nothing.
Nothing. Right.
Really nothing.
Right.
I'm probably one of the poorest people who's actually donating to that cause.
But that's okay. You want to. I always look at it like you always want to be around people that, produce more work, do more work, and make more money than you. Right. So you're constantly the dumbest one in the room. Never want to be the smartest one in the room.
How long were you in BNI? Are you still a member?
I'm not still a member of BNI, but I was in a BNI for probably off and on for about 6 years. So and it I mean, how did you find out about BNI?
So I think on the Real Husbands in Loudoun County on that group, I advertised there. I used to do a bit more than I'm doing now, but it was just like, hey, I used to charge like, I don't know, $130 for a full detail.
Right.
At the time. And one of the guys from there, he reached out to me, and I did his car. He wasn't even at home. I parked it back in his garage. It was gated community. I did a good job. And then he was like, hey, there's some local business guys meeting every morning. Do you want to come and check it out? It's free breakfast. I was like, oh yeah, free food. Come in. Yeah, and that's how it started. And then it doesn't bring you so much revenue straight away. It's you probably know it even better than I do. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Right.
But I really, because I was completely new to community. Like I moved to Leesburg. I moved to America like 3 years ago, so I didn't know nobody.
Right.
No one. And now, let's say within Leesburg, which is not obviously big town, I know the best business owners. I know the creme of it.
Yep.
So to say.
And that's what I love. That's what I loved about BNI too, is that it really thrusts you into the community, right? And it really opens up. And I think detailing is for people listening that aren't aware of what BNI is, it stands for Business Networking International, and it's an international networking group. And they have chapters throughout the whole entire world. It's not a multi-level marketing thing or anything like that. It's all individual businesses, and everyone just gets together once a week for breakfast to try to network with each other and pass business to each other. And so what we're talking about is you get together once a week with all these other business professionals that are looking to either pass business referrals or get business referrals. So you really get injected into the heart of the community, because you're also surrounded with a bunch of people that are trying to grow their businesses. It's like I still to this day. So I first joined a BNI in 2008. And so to this day, 11 years later, I still take care of a client that was a referral from a BNI group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then for those of you guys who don't know about BNI, you can also do cross-chapter visits, so you can go to different BNIs time to time, and show your face. And I have to say, for detailers specifically, I don't really, around here at least, I don't really have any competition.
I had no competition out here.
In a group.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm always the only detailer. So anytime I visit a new chapter, everyone's like, "You doing what? You come to my house and clean my car?" Oh yeah. Yeah. I usually nail two, three jobs just attending.
Yep, because it's an easy referral. A lot of times, I don't know if it's like this where you're at, but where I was, a lot of times there's people that don't. It's not that easy to have a referral for, say, a realtor every week, right? So, but part of the meeting is everyone has to stand up and talk about if they have any referrals, and so I realize that detailing is a very easy referral, and the point is people don't want to stand up and not have anything. So if they can pass a referral to the detailer, they can at least stand up and say they have a referral. So I learned it was great because, so many people were willing to refer themselves to me just so that when they stood up, they had something to say.
Yeah, it's true. I have that type of time that people are like, "Hey, come and do my car. I'll put some thank you dollars in."
Exactly.
It's funny, but it works for me, Yeah.
Exactly.
And also, I'm looking at my detailing business in the longer run. I want to expand. You know, first of all, I want to expand from this in this area, and then probably even further. And my experience shows that even if I go to a BNI meeting where I've never been in my life before, you already feel like a part of it instead of,
Yep.
you're just this awkward person who doesn't know anybody. Because the principle is the same. Everyone's there to make money, and to
100%.
make money for each other.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So enough bragging about BNI. It works, guys. It works for me.
Mm-hmm.
It should work for you too.
Definitely
And
worked for
again,
me.
it's a lot. Yeah, and technically it's low hanging fruit as well because
It
it
is.
costs you about $700 to join for a year plus the breakfast costs, and you make that back in one or two jobs. If you're good at it.
Totally, especially if you're the easy person to refer, right? So that's what I always figured. It's about $1,000, $1,200 a month, right? Or a year, sorry, by the time you get done with everything.
Yeah.
But it really does work, especially for businesses or people just like I was and you were in that exact situation. You don't really know anyone. Your business is new and fresh. And it gets you kind of comfortable with public speaking because you're standing and having to talk
Yep.
in front of a group. And so, yeah, this wasn't meant to be a plug for BNI, but if you're looking for, low-hanging fruit and a place to kind of inject yourself into the community, it's a really good place to start.
Yeah, yeah, and also you're around technically quite wealthy people as well. If you're
Right.
new to community, you can meet somebody who actually owns a shopping center or whatever. Like today, I asked for referral for a business development manager in a big shopping center, and actually somebody most likely will find me a spot. I want to get a little detailing shop also in like a big shopping center.
To like just sell chemical and I want to touch on that. When you talk about kind of expanding where you're at and then even beyond, what does that look like or what does that mean to you? Does that mean like a bigger shop, more employees and then multiple locations, or what does that look like for you?
Okay, so here's where I am at the moment. So when I met that detailer, when I went to look for space, it turns out he's a member of the same group of Real Husbands of Loudoun County, and I thought he was going to give me some grief that I'm taking his money, eating his bread, but it was completely opposite. He said, "Hey, I've seen your work. I like how I love the stuff that you've done. Maybe you want to do some work together." So I ended up actually renting a shop space from him, but not going full like high risk, committing to let's say $2,000 a month, but he's charging me
Right.
per day or per hour. So it works really good. I have a dope shop. He's selling good products. He's also selling Adams products.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
I use a lot.
Yep.
So I don't even have to go on Amazon anymore to get a leather conditioner. If I run out of something, I just go to the shelf and like, hey, put it on my tab. So that's really good. And he also stores cars, so he's got like all sorts of cool stuff going on, and he's well known. And really our interest is like we don't really have any fallouts over our clients and stuff. And I tried to work from another place as well, which was even nicer and bigger shop. But sometimes we're bumping heads and it just didn't work out. But it's business, it's life.
Right.
So moving on, I started to do coatings, fall into coatings, and I'm super grateful for Brian and Barry from SB3. Those guys literally hooked me up because Connor kind of put a word in for me because Connor was with SB3, and I called G Technique and I called somebody else when I wanted to get the coatings, and everybody just completely put me down straight away. They're like, "Hey, how many cars have you done?" I was like, 3. They're like, "Yeah, no way, man." You know what I mean? Forget about it.
It's like one of those stupid things, like you got to have experience to sign up, but how do you get experience if no one allows you to get the experience?
Exactly. And I was so mad at them, I'm like, guys, I'm not trying to straight away, flagship your name over all my work, even if I mess up. I said, I got to start somewhere. So,
right.
From beginning, I had to buy the ceramic coatings from Amazon, whatever their name is, or
right,
and start to do that. So kind of put a word in for me, and then SB3 was happy to take me on. And since then, me and SB3, we've been doing, YouTube videos. I've been putting SP3 on them. You name it, on Lambos and McLarens, and I try to drive their products because their customer care is great. I'm pretty much like good friends with the owner of the company and the co-owner, and they've been nice to me. So that's about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you worked with a lot of coating companies, and sometimes if you compare the bottle lids, like the tops,
right,
every coating bottle has the same one. So
right.
I don't know why, but I think that there is someone in China with a big bucket for them in.
You're probably more right than you are wrong on that one. And that's what I tell people, like even customers. It's like, for the most part, for what matters to the customer, they're pretty much about the same, right? Every other thing comes down to kind of the installer's preference, right? Or how it installs and how it, all that kind of fringe stuff it's almost like it's more about a person goes for a coating company more so about how it helps them as a business and how it installs than what the deliverables for the customer are.
Yeah, and it's so funny how in detailing industry, how everyone's like die hard one brand, That's quite silly,
I think so.
That's what I found.
I've said that for a long time. I think it's weird how these people will even put a coating brand name above their own business name, and I'm just man, that's crazy to me. It's like that coating company they don't care about you. They'll just replace you with another detailer, and we see it happen time and time again, and mainly through fallout. And then the people that once were sold out on a company are bashing it, but that's, I guess, a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day.
Mm-hmm.
How are you getting?
Yeah, really,
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
No, all I want to say, like regards coatings, I've only had maybe 2 clients who specifically like message me, hey, I want an optic coat or I want this, and they end up going home with SB3.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
They don't care.
They don't care. And then it comes down to how good can you, if they do come in with a brand name that they want, it's like, okay, well, how good can you persuade them into something else, right? Because I'm in the same boat too. It's like you get calls for certain brands, and it's like, well, why do you want that brand, right? And still, even to this day, they're, even with how good Ceramic Pro is with their marketing and kind of the stronghold that they are starting to have, to the consumer, most consumers still don't really have a brand preference. There really isn't a brand that's absolutely killing it that, people have calling, asking for, Yeah. They're able to be persuaded.
Yeah, my last interesting client was, he asked me what kind of products I'm using on a detail, and he said, hey, I got chemical guys at home. Can you use my products? And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I can use your products.
Yep.
Your products on any car.
Yep.
Yeah, so you got takeaway from me as well. I can take some with me, if you got too much.
Yep. I had a customer, I just gave her an estimate, and she worked for a well-known company out here that makes products not related to detailing, more so like household cleaners, known for like being eco-friendly. And she asked me, she's like, can I give you product and you can use it on the inside of my car? And I'm like, 100%. Like, as long as it works, what do I care,
Exactly. Better for us,
How have you been able to get more coating jobs? So you talked about, once you were able to get certified with a company, you've started doing a bunch with them. What has the B&I group helped predominantly with that, or what has really helped you to get more of those coating jobs?
Mm-hmm. So regards coatings, people are still super uneducated about it. So I think the right place to dig for them is somewhere where people actually know about it. Because if you offer somebody a ceramic coating and the question is what is coating, like I'm not nailing that sale. That's going past me.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people see worth to invest like $1,200 to $1,600 in something they don't even have a clue about or they haven't heard about. They're like, or even more new car buyers. You're like, oh, there's paint correction on your Tesla and there's a coating, and they're like, I just bought a new car. Why do I have paint correction?
100%. Yeah.
So, Yeah, so I think I'm really big on networking. So obviously all the groups like Real Husbands Loudoun County, I started spamming on Facebook, getting blocked once or twice a week sometimes.
Okay.
Because Facebook, I actually used to work for Facebook headquarters, so I was even trying to argue like, I know this person, I know that person, why are you blocking me?
Did you work security at Facebook headquarters?
Yeah, I was the counterterrorism advisor for the physical security team.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I used to work in London Facebook headquarters. It's a cool place to work, by the way.
I bet. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, but so the thing is, we were like detailing all ceramic coatings. We were able to actually advertise it on Marketplace, and then they clamped it down because they've taken on. It's not a house call pro, but the other couple companies, whatever they are. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Say it again.
So we used to be able to advertise on Facebook Marketplace,
right?
Detailing and stuff,
right?
But now they have those companies, Home Advisor or one of those.
Got it. Okay, that kind of have bought out the advertising space.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
But the problem, my argument was, hey, I'm happy to pay them more money and be listed as services. But those bastards don't actually have a category for detailers.
Big problem. Yeah.
I can't pretend to be a plumber.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, till you don't give me a solution, I have to do what I got to do. I'm a small business owner. I feed my family, Why you keep blocking me?
Right.
And a couple of times they let you off,
Really?
They let me to do it. I don't know why. Maybe they really start to dislike my complaints or just I'm lucky. But I get away with it time to time.
Yeah, but it's a valid point. It's like, well, there's no other option, so I have to spam, right? And has the spamming, has it brought any negatives to the business? Like, do people get overseeing it, or has it only been the only negative is you get blocked?
So no, so I have to say, that whilst I was spamming from the beginning, it was working and it was worth my time. And I actually saw in one of the chat rooms or whatever, the Facebook groups detailing, that people said, hey, listen, this is not worth my time anymore. And I was really skeptic about it because I wasn't busy. And I was like, hey, I took any straw. I come from that kind of background that I used to have a salary, for 10 years.
Yep.
So let's say you have $2,000.
Right.
So if you want something, you got to cut down on something. And now I'm in position, I want a nicer car. I'll work for it. I'll put 2 extra hours in. I'll do 2 more calls, whatever. So I was really skeptical about it. However, I have to tell you now, it really doesn't pay off for me because there's so many time wasters. There's 2,000 people. Bless on all my foreign brothers, but like guys who don't speak English, they don't read the advert. And detailing, let's say in Spanish, means parts, car parts. So they're messaging me, $150 for Harley. I got Harley Davidson, $150 detail.
Oh shoot!
They're like, when can I come and have a look? Detailing parts. So that's why, you put a Lamborghini there, and they're like, okay, I'll come and have a look for $300, $1,200.
Yeah, you're like,
they're like, what's your address? I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Got it. So again, it's good.
And I get so amped up, man.
Right. So now, does that have anything to do with your security background, right?
No. I will find you, and I'll detail your car, you want it or not. I have a very specific set of skills. I detail cars. Yeah. But so to be honest, it doesn't work really not anymore for me.
Gotcha.
I have the old one, and then I find that everyone wants a bargain, Everyone's trying to lowball me. And it got to the level when I started a different technique. If someone's trying to lowball me, I'll go higher. So they're like, can you do it for 800? I'm like, it's 12. No. I said 800. It's 14. I said enough. Yeah.
That's funny. Like, yeah, could you do better? Sure, 1,400. Wait, you just said 8. I know. Better for who? Yeah. Better for you or better for me?
Exactly. I'm like, better. He said, can you do it cheaper? I'm like, well, pick the side of the car you want to get done. But it's a waste of time to get in those arguments. I can't
total waste of time. Yep.
Yeah. So, but still, very big source of my income is the local community groups.
Okay.
And I can tell you some secrets for people who's
Let's
listening.
hear it. Yeah, let's hear it.
If you are mobile guys, there's low hanging fruit. It depends obviously which part of the country you are, or what country or continent you are. Guys, you can make a killer detailing something what not everybody's detailing. Horse trailers, RVs. I know you got a lot of RVs there, but we don't. RVs, heavy machinery. I'm detailing bobcats. I'm detailing tractors. I'm detailing horse trailers. Horse trailers are great money, and they're great people. I don't know what's with horse people, but they're the nicest clients ever.
And they have money, right? Because my daughter rides horses, and that is not a cheap.
You don't have money.
I have no money because that is not a cheap hobby. I'm like, dang it, I'm all for supporting her, but can she pick something else?
Yeah, swimming.
Swimming. Soccer.
Only needed, Bad baby. Yeah,
exactly.
And
how are you getting into those? How are you getting into that? Those niches. Like, how do you get a horse trailer to do?
So this is the thing. Yeah, I've made probably, as most of us, I've made probably every single possible mistake there is to be made.
Of course.
Let's say I used to detail trailers. When I used to get on, sometimes cherry picker, but on a ladder, with my sponge scraping it, trying to move black streaks, and then realizing there's solutions for it, and that you can actually buy the brush on a pole that you can wash and wax in one solution, and things like that. Just cutting shorter. And I've done it all. I've scraped it with Brillo sponges and stuff. But so once you do one or two, one of the important things what I personally think is documenting everything. So once you've done one or two trailers,
got it.
Even for any money, how long time it takes you and how much you charge. And then the next thing is I have, let's say, specific Facebook groups, let's say more outside of the city, where I know that there's a big horse community. So instead of, hey, this is ceramic coating, $1,500 on Tesla, I start with it. Hey guys, we detail trailers, we detail tractors, and then we detail cars, trucks, bikes, whatever.
Gotcha.
And another thing, tag your horse buddy. Win something, get a discount. Tag somebody with a horse, get a discount or something like that. Those things work as well. And documenting is a really big part because a lot of people, once you do it for a little bit longer, you start slacking it because you just don't think it's that interesting.
Right.
Guess what? It's interesting for somebody else.
Yep. Yep.
I come from a country where if you see a Mustang on the street, like a car Mustang or or a Camaro, there's going to be a bunch of people standing around it. Because we just don't have American cars.
Right.
So the stuff that I'm posting, like today, I drove El Camino out of the garage and around the corner, park it. I've never been in one. And all my friends from Europe, they're like, damn, that's an El Camino. I was like, oh yeah, yes it is. So even if you don't think that little interior job is interesting, for you, take a picture, put it on, be consistent, post twice a day.
That's
post
such a
on
great
Facebook
tip.
and Instagram.
Yeah, that's such a great tip because the way I look at it is like you're doing it anyway, right? Like you could have just as easily not shown anything about the El Camino, right? But you did it. You did it anyway. You might as well just post about it, right? And you never know what will happen,
Yeah, and you're gonna get some more views, from even, let's say, like I'm not gonna get any business from my European friends, bragging about it, but it's gonna pick up more views, so it's gonna be passed around more, So
yep, exactly.
You're still generating something.
Yep, game in the algorithm.
Yeah,
love that.
Yeah. So another thing, cars and coffee. Big time. It's a great community. It's a great community to be a part of. You learn from people and you meet people. It's tough. There's so many of these events. Literally, my beautiful wife thinks that I'm in sort of cult. There's cars and Chick-fil-A, cars and coffee Saturday, cars and lunch, cars and whatever. Every day you can do something with cars.
Right.
She's like, are you having a side chick or something? I'm like, babe, it's Sunday morning. I'm going to cars and coffee.
That's
It's great.
super funny. That's awesome. So what do you do at the Cars and Coffee events? Is it strictly just kind of networking and letting people know who you are and what you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm a chatty guy. I always introduce myself,
Yep.
and a lot of times there's smaller and bigger car communities. I'd say the ones who are bigger and where it's like meaner and more expensive cars are tougher to work with, because you don't really know who to speak to. Maybe somebody's an I don't know owner of I don't know Walmart, and he probably doesn't want to talk to you. But on smaller scale, on smaller Cars and Coffee, like in smaller communities, it's easier. You go to pick up a coffee, start a conversation on the way, and once you've done one or two cars, people start chatting.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
your car's so shiny. Oh, go, you see that guy there? Go and speak to that guy. He'll make your car shiny too. So I try not to be super pushy. I don't walk around with flyers or anything like that. If people ask me for my number, I give it to them. But once you do one or two, and this all of this industry, I think, personally comes down to if you do a good job, you'll get paid.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Word travels fast when you do good work, right?
Yeah, and I'm happy for any detailer who even opened a shop next door to mine. The more detailing, there's going to be more detailers, the more we all will have work, because it's still, I think, fairly new thing to have.
Yep.
It's not something you need; it's something you want. And if you're good at it, you're going to be better than somebody else.
100%.
All these cheap, like there's guys who do it for $80. Full detail on a car. Bless them. The more they're going to be, the more work I'm going to have, because they're going to do half-ass job. And next time, people are going to call me and pay me triple for it.
Right. Yeah. That, you know what? That's a very valid point. Like everyone, it's so funny. Like everyone craps on the people that are doing cheap work and claiming that they're competition. And I always look at it like, if you're competing with someone who, there's two ways to look at it. If the $80 guy is doing a great job, I mean, kudos to him, right? The chances of him being in business long-term, working at a cheaper price, is slim to none, right? So he's going to be gone, or he's going to raise his price because you have to have a viable business, right? But like you said, either way, he's either going to raise his price and then he'll eventually get to my level, right? Or he'll do such a crappy job that the client will be willing to pay a premium because I know I could deliver on a great service,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I always think it's funny, these people that think that these cheap guys are their competition, and I'm like, why are you competing with them? That's crazy to me, Yeah.
No, it's true. And also, I don't know about you, Jimbo, but like, I would say 70% to up to 80% of my clients, it's a first detail for them. They got a detail, 5 years ago on a different car or something. Those are my clients. Luckily, I have a lot of. I've only been in business not even 2 years now,
Wow.
and I have returning business. And I was actually, when the spring hit, because I started in January,
Right.
2 years ago or something. And the January came, and I was like, hey, no one's calling me, Am I doing something wrong, But it is picking up. It is picking up.
That's awesome.
And I have some return flow. So I'm super happy about it, because I was literally starting to think, maybe. And also, it was a start of my business. So
Right.
I obviously probably didn't do a lot of things right. But they are coming back. But yeah, so in general, people want it to be done, And look around you. What do you see? You see cars. There's enough work for everybody.
I always think that there's so many cars that there's no way that all of us detailers, even if we got together and tried to do them all, that we would be able to.
No way.
Right?
No way.
Not even close.
Yeah, man. Seriously, I don't know where all the listeners are from, but I have so much work. I mean, I see, again, maybe
awesome.
because I'm, maybe because I have a little bit different mentality, I'm not from around here. I see dollar signs on every corner.
Yeah.
They are extending the metro line, to the next city right now, or village or whatever. And they have these garages with like 1,500 garage capacity.
Right.
I'm like, damn, I can't wait that place to be open. I'm going to put a poster there, and just rake it in.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Man, I love it.
Seriously.
Your energy is contagious, and I think that people are going to get so much value out of this episode and all that. If people want to get a hold of you and kind of pick your brain, if they're in, it's kind of interesting. We've had a few guests right around the Virginia, DC kind of metro area lately, so it's kind of been cool. But if people are in that area and want to maybe come visit you at your shop, or they have space that they could rent to you of their shop, or just chit chat with you on the phone and network with you, how can they get a hold of you, and how can they reach you?
So they can reach me on Instagram. It's at Corsair Detailing, all one word. My Facebook page is Mobile Detailing by Corsair. Maybe you can put it somewhere in your show notes.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, or Janis Lasmanis on Facebook. I have a lot of friends. I'm always happy to network with anybody, We can only learn. There's enough for everybody,
I think so, too.
And that's why I get
that.
annoyed with all these groups and all these, people. I'm like, get over yourself, There's so much more work out there, Just go and do it.
I couldn't agree more, man, and I appreciate you. I share that same philosophy, and so I appreciate you coming on the show to continue that and share the knowledge that you've learned and your energy and your excitement. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. We're growing every day, and we make mistakes, but we move on, and then we all try to progress, I think, and it's always better to progress together. I've heard so many good tips on your podcast, because we all have time once we're vacuuming or whatever. We always have time to listen to podcasts, and you've been a great help, and you have been, I think, a cornerstone for a lot of guys out there. Trust me,